Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, hello, this is Helin. I'm 24 and I love books and I talk about books mainly on this channel. Yeah, let's get started. My Goodreads challenge in the beginning of this year was 48 books, but I only managed to read 12 of them. So I'm challenging myself to read 30 books in 10 weeks until the end of this year. Why am I doing this? It is because I want to have a sense of goal setting and succeeding at those goals, and if I can manage that, I will end up reading more books, which I like to do, but I keep telling myself that I don't really have time, or I don't really have the energy to read, or I come home really tired from work and I tell myself I'm not gonna do this, I'm not gonna read, I'm just gonna lay down, take a nap and take a shower and then basically go to bed. But if I have a routine and not rot looking at my phone in bed, I think that'll be a good habit. So that's what we're going to try, and in this video I'll show you the 30 books that I picked for myself. So I don't know if I will be able to do it, but at least I'm challenging myself to do something that I would really want to achieve. First, we have to start by the books that we want to read. Previously, I showed on my other video a notebook where I kept my book reading goals. I wanted to read more Turkish books, I wanted to read more Russian classics, I wanted to read varied genres from different authors, and I wanted to meet new authors from different continents, different countries that I haven't really read from before. So I tried to pick those kinds of books that I have never heard of, or I have heard of but I haven't really delved into them, or I haven't really been intrigued. In this 30 book goal, I will try to involve some of the Latin American and African books, and I would love to read in French. So I haven't really been reading French. I picked the books accordingly, and without further ado, without taking more of your time, I will show you the books. Of course, during the challenge, during the 10 weeks time, the list might change. There might be new books, there might be new authors, there might be less books, there might be more books, because if I get into the habit of reading every day for 2 hours, then I might read more, I might get faster. So we'll see. And I would like to say that Hong Kong just got the Nobel Prize in Literature, and I am beyond happy. I love Hong Kong so much. She's my favorite Korean author. I haven't really read a lot of Korean books, but I'm pretty sure that Han Kang is one of the most amazing authors of all time, and her writing is so simple yet so impactful, and I love to read her weird story. I wouldn't call them incredibly weird or not from the world, but they are weird in the sense of it is very intriguing. It's more about psychological aspects, and you see a lot about female angst and female rage, and it's so good. So I'm just saying that Han Kang is one of the best Korean authors out there, and if you haven't read anything by her, this is the book that I'm gonna recommend you. So if you can read in Korean, I think reading it in Korean is also good, but I can't read this type of high literature in Korean yet. I also read The White Book by Han Kang. It was, I don't know, it felt so amazing. Reading it felt really emotional and it felt really strong. So I would definitely recommend The White Book. I haven't read Human Acts yet because I thought it's not a good starter with Han Kang, because Human Acts is a bit more serious, more real. Korean name is 채식 투이자. and it literally translates into the vegetarian, of course. And so yeah, I definitely recommend this book. She's trying to smell the camera. Say hi to the camera. Don't bite me. Where do you want to go? Go. I'm really distracted right now. Let's get to the books, shall we? I will show you in a random order because I don't know if this will be the order that I am reading them. So the first one I would like to talk about is Out by Natsuo Kirino. I'm pretty sure that that's not how we pronounce her name, but I have read this book in May and I'm on page 222. I really would love to finish this book before this year ends because this book was amazing. I was in a big reading slump for almost like 2 years, and this year in May I kind of restarted reading, and this book helped a lot with my reading process and with my reading habit coming back to me, which is amazing. And I'm currently reading another Japanese author, Never Let Me Go by Shigeru, and it's fun, it's good. And this book is talking about 4 women who live very different yet so similar lives, and they're all different personalities, and it's really intriguing to follow along how they're gonna act in the case of a murder within their friend group, and they're trying to cover for each other, and we follow them in their journey. And it was amazing because the main female character is very strong, is very smart. If you know, you know, those female characters who are like, oh, I'm really pretty, I have blue eyes, I have blonde hair, I'm really pretty, but I'm really smart, and I'm gonna beat the hell out of you. Those like sci-fi, not sci-fi, fantasy, like high fantasy book characters, main girl characters, I don't like them because that's not how things are, that's not how life is, and you are not that smart, and you are not that brave, or you're not that courageous to be that brave, to be that person. You're not that person. That's fantasy, and I understand, but I'm so bored of those like really weak yet so strong female characters. Sue me, I don't like them. But in this book, the main character is amazing, and she's really, really smart. And if you like to read female rage and female perspectives, and this is the book that you're gonna read. The second book I would like to read is this book by Sud Gergedan. This is actually a collection of stories. I have read Mine Sud's other book, Crazy Female Stories. I'm not sure if it's translated, but it's one of the best collection of stories I've ever read. Yes, this will be the second book. So female rage it is. I don't care. So the third book is this book. I don't know how to translate this one, but this is a Turkish classic book, and it's the first of the series. As I said before, I haven't really read much of a Turkish classic. I wasn't really into Turkish classics. I read the modern classics, but I haven't really read like classics. This was published, I think, in the 20th century, like the beginning of the 20th century, late 19th century. It's about wedding. That's all I know about it. That's what the cover says, and I will try to enjoy it because I need to know my own culture, literature culture. So there you go. Okay, the fourth book is the story of Hong Gil-dong. So this is a very short book. It is a story. It's a Korean traditional story. I got this off of Amazon. I looked at the cover and I thought it was amazing, and I wanted to get into more of like Korean culture. I am interested in Korean culture, but I wanted to know more about the literature, so I got this one. I think it's gonna be a quick read. Drive your plow over the bones of the dead by Olga Tokarczuk. I can never memorize this this title. It's insane. It's very crazy. This was recommended by Beware of Pity, or the Post Office Girl. She's really amazing. I love her book recommendations, and she said Tokarczuk was one of her favorite authors. I'm really excited to read this one. I don't know what it's about. I just know that it takes place in Poland. The sixth book. So my favorite British author is Woolf. I don't know if that says anything about me. I think it does. But I want to read everything that Woolf wrote. I loved The Waves. I loved A Room of One's Own. And this book is a little bit thicker than her other work. I don't know what it's about, and I don't want to get any spoilers, but I just want to get into it. And I'm really excited about all of the books that I got. Like, in reading all of the books that I showed so far. You know, it's so good. It's gonna be so good, and I'm really excited. Okay, and then another book that was recommended by Melissa, and it is Grapes of Wrath by Steinbeck. I have read this book in middle school. It was like it's like an abbreviated version of this one, and I don't remember anything about it. And this is a classic, so I have to read it. I bought this like in the winter time, but I still haven't read it. And I love the cover. I love everything about the book. The print is so pretty. Like, do you see this? I want to read this as soon as possible. I don't know, I want to read all these books as soon as possible, but I know that it's not gonna happen. This is the 8th book. So I looked at awarded books and books with prizes, and I saw like a list that had only non-American British fiction, and this was on top of the list. Half of A Yellow Sun. And I know that there's a movie or a TV series adaptation, but I really don't know what it's about. I just got it because it's a book with a prize. I know that Adichie is a great author and has been, you know, giving a lot of like great interviews and speeches, and the ideas are immaculate. I have read some of the articles that have been published about this book, and I know that it's gonna be a heavy read, a difficult read, but I would like to know more about different cultures, again, as I said, and this book is going to be my 8th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th book. I wanted to read French books, and I picked 4, and one of them is Candide by Voltaire, and one of them is Le Lys dans la Vallée, Balzac, and La Dame aux Camélias by Dumas fils. And the last one is Paysage. I got this book in Musée d'Orsay? No. I got this one at the Musée de l'Orangerie, and it, you know, that painting of Monet, like it's like this. I'll show a picture of it. So Monet is my favorite painter of all time. I'm so basic, I know. But I love Monet. I always loved Monet. I was 14 when I like discovered his paintings, and I was in love with them. Les Coquelicots, I think, is very beautiful, and my roommate loves it so much too. And yeah, we love it a lot. And yeah, when I went there, I got some books, and this was one of them. It is talking about paysage, which is scenery in paintings. So I want to learn more about like art and French, Italian art, and I really wanted to read this. It has pictures in it. It's going to be easy read. It's like it has some, you know, paintings and explanations. So I think it's going to be great. So this is the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th book. Going on to the Russian literature, I only have one. I only have one because, let me show you the book. Next to my head. It is 1025 pages. If I can read this in a week, I am unstoppable. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. And I know for sure that I can do it, but it's like so thick. It's like a brick. Like I could hit this on somebody and they could have trauma if I hit someone on the head with this. So this is Karamazov Brothers, one of the best work of Dostoevsky. I don't think it needs any explanation. Everyone and their mothers know this book. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. And I don't know which number I'm on. 14th book is this book. This is a Turkish book by a female author. It is In the Night by Leyla Erbil. So this is a collection of short stories. I wanted to read more female Turkish authors, so that's why I got this one. The 15th book is the shortest book you're ever gonna see in this video. This is 45.5 pages. And again, so this publishing house, Canlı Yayınları, has a collection of dark blue series. In those dark blue series, they have like short stories, they have like novellas, they have short novels, and they have like poetry, I think. And they're really short, and they're known for being short, and they're really cheap, but they're classics, like classic stories that you have to read before you die kind of things. So I haven't really read anything by Rauf. He is one of the biggest Turkish like authors. He's the first author that has written a psychological book in Turkish, so he's an important guy. No need to say anything. He's my favorite Turkish author. I have to read this. It's another collection of short stories. I had read one of his collections like a few weeks ago, and this is the second collection of stories that he has written. I haven't read all of his short stories, so I'm reading them right now, so this is going to be great. Another collection of short stories by the same author. This looks like a poetry book, although it's not, but it looks like one. And these two have the same covers, but this one is a short story collection, and this one is a poetry collection. I have some poets that I love deeply in Turkish, but I don't read a lot. I read like a few every year. So I wanted to focus on varied genres this year. So this one is going to be a hit because this is going to be the only poetry book in Turkish that I bought. This one again is a short book by Tomris Uyar. It's a collection of short stories. So I think our authors are more prone to write short stories instead of novels, because I think short stories are more appreciated and they fit more into the storytelling concept of our culture. So like looking at like books, I realized we have so many short story collections, and we have so many short stories, and I love stories. I love to read them before, you know, going to sleep, and I read like a couple and I go to sleep, and then I wake up, I read a couple, and I go to work. So I'm gonna like it because I love Uyar. I love her dearly, and she's a woman, and a female author is obviously I will have a bias. So yes. And one other classic by Süskind. Everyone knows about this book. I think everyone knows about the movie. I think everyone knows about the concept. It's about murder. It's about perfumes. It's about smells. And I love smells. I love learning about smells. I love learning about perfumes. Although perfume in this sense is not the perfume that we're using, it's more about scent. So I don't know if I'm gonna like it, but I know I'm gonna enjoy reading it because it's a different concept than what I usually read. I'm really excited to read about this one. It's a short book, and everyone recommended this one on, I think, on Pinterest. Nowhere else but just Pinterest was really recommending this one. So I like the cover a lot, and again, as I said, I'm more into like reading Japanese literature, so I'm really interested in reading this one. So when we think of like memory please, I think about Fahrenheit 451, and when I think about that book, I come to thinking that I like dystopias that are more into like a socialist view rather than like a sci-fi. So when I think of dystopia, I want to see ideology being mocked or an ideology being reinforced. So that's why I like Fahrenheit 451, because it had an ideology that it was dealing with. But if it's all like sci-fi and like, you know, there was this book, The Maze Runner. I did not like that kind of I don't like that kind of dystopia. I don't like The Maze Runner. I don't like Divergent, because they are the dystopias that I don't find deep. But let's say Hunger Games, it was amazing. It had an ideology behind it. It had perspective. It had thoughts behind it. It was amazing. But for the other dystopia books, they're not very strong because they don't have a base template of like an idea, like an ideology or something that it's dealing with. So that's why I think I'm gonna like this, because it's going to be a serious, deep read, I hope. Cats. I feel like Japanese write a lot about cats, because I have a second book about cats, If Cats Disappeared. I like the cover. Okay, I like the cover. It was recommended on the internet. It was everywhere, so I got it. What can you say about it? And another Japanese book. I bought this in the wintertime, thinking that I was gonna read it, and then I didn't have the courage to read this book because I know it's gonna be heartbreaking. And I was like, do you know what? I'm not gonna read this one right now. And then I just delayed it and delayed it and delayed it, and now it's in my hands, waiting to be read, waiting to be reviewed. And it's gonna be a great read. I know, it's just gonna be heartbreaking. So yeah. And another two are actually in Korean, these books. So let me show you the covers. This was actually recommended by a friend who loves mangas, and she said, you know what, Helin, you're gonna love these books. If you like haiku, if you like these kind of like mangas, you're gonna enjoy them. And I got them. I haven't read them yet. I bought them in like March, April. And then we have Flush by Virginia Woolf. This is about a dog, and it's going to be a quick read. It's very short, and it's like small, and it has this intro on it. This was recommended by Melissa. Again, I love Melissa. And then the last one that I picked is the Ice Palace. I got this just because of the cover. Look at how pretty it is. Look at how pretty it is. Amazing. It's basically a story based in Norwegian fjords, and I watched 2 Norwegian shows. One of them is Ragnarok, and in that one it was set in the fjords also. Fjords, I don't know how to say it. And I loved it. I loved the scenery. I didn't like the 3rd season, don't mention that to me, but I loved the scenery. I loved feeling cold in the midst of summer. So this is by Veronica Raimo, I don't know, and it's an Italian book, Niente di Vero. I don't know what it's about. It's again a book with a prize, so that's why I got it, to read more diverse books. And the last one, recommended by Melissa, intrigued by reading more of Steinbeck's books, and really interested in understanding Melissa's taste. So these are all the books that I'm planning to read in the next 10 weeks, and you are going to follow me along bi-weekly, not every week, because sometimes I might just not be able to post videos every week. So I'm just gonna try to post bi-weekly updates about the books that I read, about the books that I couldn't read, or you know, you're gonna see my reviews and hear my reviews And if you still don't follow me on Goodreads, please click down below and follow me on Goodreads, because that's where I spend most of my time at the spare moment. So thank you for watching this very long video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you soon. Bye.